Literally 90% of the people I come across is talking about leaving America.
I don't know why no one's talking about this, but there is a mass exodus of US citizens. I help foreigners move abroad, move to Costa Rica, and make a life here. I've been getting a ton of stories from clients who are absolutely spent. I'm working with a psychiatrist who helps teenagers. And when I asked her why she wants to move to Costa Rica, she said, it's because I have lost all hope. My patients have lost hope. And what's worse is I have lost hope too. And how can I possibly be of service to someone else if I don't believe it's not going to get any better? So what she is doing is saving herself, packing up her bags, and moving abroad.
Husband and I were sitting on the porch this morning and we were just discussing the culture in the United States and how there's always this undercurrent of like violence and hostility, and it's everywhere all the time, and you feel very vulnerable to it. And sometimes you don't really even know you're feeling it, but it's there. And I asked him, when you go to a movie theater, do you assess who's in the room and who might be a threat and who might be hiding something in their coat, and like what you would do if they just like stood up and started shooting? Like, how are you going to get out of the room? How are you going to keep our boys safe? And he's like, yeah, I do. I said, I do too. We never talked about that openly. And we both agreed, like, we do it all the time. We're at the grocery store, at a concert, at church, at our kids' school. What if who among these people is a threat? And what would we do if they stood up and started to do something? How would we get out of here? How would we protect our kids and ourselves? That is always in our minds. And I don't think we realize the mental toll and the physical toll that takes on us to always be doing that mental calculations.
I was just reading a recent Gallup poll, and I suggest you go and look at it. It's very fascinating. It says currently 44% of women in the United States age 15 through 44, that's their title, I'm not calling 15-year-olds women, want to leave the United States permanently. Now, that comes as a shock to no one, and I know if the GOP is freaking out about child birth rates, imagine what happens when almost half the women, if they could leave.
So many people are talking about leaving America. Even people who are white, straight, male, female, like who are a little bit less affected by what's going on, are talking about leaving America. Like, people are so uncomfortable. So many people want to leave this country. Never in a million years would I have thought that this would be a thing. Like, I've been talking about leaving America for like the last 1 or 2 years, but like in the last few months, like there are people in droves wanting to leave America. I personally want to leave because the stress of everything going on is just too much, and why have to deal with that if I don't have to?
And every time I come back, especially recently in the past like 2 or so years, the cost of things are astronomical. And it's wild to me because I'm like, this obviously used to be my life, like this was my norm, but I also don't think things were as expensive as they are 6 years ago. But like, your food, which is even more shit than it is everywhere else in the world, but like the quality of food is triple or double the cost of other places. Just your housing, like everything, cup of coffee, going out, a glass of wine, like everything is so much more expensive. It's actual insanity. Like, now coming back, I'm always like, this is ridiculous. Like, how much people spend to live in the US. And mind you, like, I miss home at times. And there are moments where I'm like, could I move back? Like, could I do it? And then I come back here and I'm like, my quality of life will change so much by moving back, because I'll be able to do way less than what I'm able to do abroad, because everything costs so freaking much. Like, I actually don't think it's ever gonna go down. I don't know how the US is ever gonna flatten out or like normalize, because I think things are always gonna be this expensive. And like, yeah, of course salaries and stuff can go up, but like, I feel like when they go up, everything else just goes up, and it's like continuum. I just don't understand paying like $7 for eggs. Like, that's wild. And I even cracked an egg the other day and I was like, these eggs look disgusting. Like, crack an egg in Spain, not even an organic egg, just a normal egg in Spain, and then I crack an egg here and I'm like, these don't look normal. Like, they don't look normal. They don't come out of the egg normal. I don't get it. But you pay triple the cost what you do other places. It's crazy. Like, I don't know if it's ever gonna normalize. And it's wild to me that, like, people obviously live here and that this is your norm, and a lot of people obviously complain about it. But, like, it's astronomical, and you're not really getting much better things.
So my friend sent me this and was asking me if it's true, because I'm also living in Spain currently, and It's 100% true. So much to the point that I'm going to break down all of my costs a month to show you how absolutely ridiculously livable it is. Rent, €325. Utilities, €30. Food for 1 month, €150. And I kind of spend a lot on food compared to my friends, so that's saying something. Phone bill plus Wi-Fi, €27 a month. Gym, €30 a month. One singular bus ride is 40 cents. I also get breakfast out every single day, and it's literally affordable to do that. I get like a sandwich with tomato and tuna. Don't knock it until you try it. It's really good. And then I get a cafe con leche, which is practically like a latte. Every morning, the total is $3.30. $3.30. You can't even get a coffee. You can't even get half a coffee for that in the United States.
Thought it was a joke, that people were like, eggs are $12 and everything is so expensive. No, what I just got at Estelunga, I paid 1616. That's gotta be some numerology bullshit. 1616. You know how much money I was spending on groceries in California? I was walking in, gauging $20, and then getting to the register, and it's like, how is this 50, 60, 80? How? Nah, fam. I got espresso pods. I got cheese. I got a smoothie drink. Do you know how much a goddamn smoothie drink like this would cost in California right now at the supermarket? Probably $8. You know how much I paid for it here? €2.13, bitch. Ooh, my San Pellegrino. Yes, some couscous. €3.97 for this. If this was from Whole Foods or Erewhon, any Vons, $8. My spicy water, which was like, I think, spicy water. 52 cents, bitch. And a bag of focaccia. I'm not saying that Italy is superior to California, but my mamma mia, going to the supermarket and being able to buy groceries again without having a stroke.
There is now 0 states in the US where a minimum wage job is enough to afford a 2-bedroom apartment. Now, whoa, before you go, well, don't work a minimum wage job, go find a better paying job. The whole reason a minimum wage was created was to prevent worker exploitation. The goal was to ensure that even the lowest paid workers could afford basic necessities. The real problem is that it's not even just the minimum wage. Even if you make the average salary in the United States $66,000 a year, you can still barely get by because the average annual expenses in 2023 was almost $80,000 a year. And we know that in the past 2 years, shit has hit the fan. To have the same purchasing power as the boomers did in the 1970s, a minimum wage job would have to be close to $60 an hour. A minimum wage job. Why don't you go find a $60 an hour job? Let me know how that goes. But no, we shouldn't tax the ultra wealthy and the mega corporations who are creating this crisis, because we should just wait for the money to trickle down into our mouths and all over our body. It's gonna trickle down.
Living in Poland versus America. On July 31st, I'm officially gonna hit my 1-year mark of living in Poland, and I kind of wanted to assess, based on where I am now, how much I'm earning, how much I'm spending, and how much I'm saving, and if it's worth me living here, or maybe should I go back to America. Starting off by calculating my past expenses in New York. So at the time I was working corporate in Manhattan, I was getting paid bi-weekly, but monthly my check came out to about $2,900. So my biggest expense at the time was rent. As we all know, New York rents are crazy. We were not living in Soho or Midtown Manhattan or Manhattan at all. We were living in Queens, where the rent was around $3,000, so my half was $1,500. Then we have groceries, which my half came out to about $500. Utilities, being phone, internet, electric, were $200. Given the fact that I was working in Manhattan, it made sense for me to buy an unlimited monthly Metro card, which came out to about $132. And even though I had a Metro card, we still had to have a car, because if you want to get into the city, you take the subway. But if you want to drive or get anywhere around the city, There's no public transportation, you need to have a car. So lease, my half was $250, and then gas and insurance was $150. All of these expenses came out to about $2,732, meaning that I could save $168. Mind you, I'm not counting student loans. I'm not counting any emergencies in terms of like health emergencies, going to the hospital, having to repair your car, getting to an accident. No, this is just basic needs to survive. Now switching over to Poland, I recently landed a new corporate job out here that pays me 5,300 złotych per month. I'm also switching apartments, thank God, on August 1st, which comes out to about 3,200 złotych per month, but my half is 1,600. For utilities in Poland, you typically pay them every 3 months, but per month it usually comes out to about 100 złotych. That includes utilities, phone, electric, things like that. For groceries and eating out, I would say that's my second biggest expense out here. It's about 1,500 złotych. I also pay 200 złotych for a 6-month tram pass out here, which allows me to basically hop on any tram, any bus, any form of public transportation. This total comes out to 3,420 złotych. So that means I can save 1,880 złotych, which comes out to $500. If I ever get sick, Poland does have universal healthcare, which I'm not gonna lie isn't the best, but I also get private health insurance through my job, which really cuts the cost if I ever need to go to a specialist. If I ever want to go back to school, school is free out here. I can go at any time. I can do it part-time even, so while I'm working. If I ever need to travel from city to city or country to country, there's like a bunch of trains, and because I'm a student, I get a student discount. So in many ways, I'm saving money here, which is crazy.
By now, I genuinely thought I was going to be in a position where I had a well-paying full-time job. I haven't found that. I do side hustles, I put in the work, I have a plan of going to law school, but 6 months in, I can't even get a simple assistant role, a simple internship role. All of these entry roles are requiring 5+ years of experience. How am I supposed to do that when I just graduated college? I'm personally so blessed to have a great support system, but I put myself in other people's shoes who don't have that support system, who are in even tougher situations, and I don't understand how people can sit here and comment behind a screen saying they're not working hard enough when they're working multiple different jobs and constantly trying to learn how they can make more money and living paycheck to paycheck. I don't understand how people can say they're not putting in the work. Growing up, I thought it was gonna be simple. Graduate high school, go to college, graduate college, get a job, stress-free, because that was how the American dream was painted. But the American dream is just debt and struggling to pay for health insurance alongside rent, utilities, and groceries. I know it can get confusing. I really feel for those who have, and I want to bring awareness to the situation, to those who are putting in all of the work that they can and still struggling to make ends meet.
It does not cost a lot of money to leave the United States. I've already left the United States once, and I will be leaving again in less than a week, and it does not cost a lot of money. So let's get into the breakdown of what it has cost in order for me to leave, as well as my cost of living while living in Bali. So my visa for 2 years is $500. Everybody's visa is going to be different. There are different visas that you can get. The one that I happen to get happens to be $500 for 2 years. Second, I fly for free. You can go see the pinned video on my page. I fly everywhere for free. I never ever pay for flights. Next, my apartment in Bali is $650. That includes water, utilities, gas, everything like that. It also includes breakfast and daily maid service as well. My car over there, or my scooter, cost about $70, $75 a month. My total cost of living, including eating out, yoga, everything like that, is around $2,000 per month while living in Bali. Whereas living in the US, my cost of living exceeds somewhere around like $6,000 to $8,000 per month. And if you're like, Andrea, I don't know what to do, I've already looked for remote jobs, there are teaching jobs, there are ways that you can translate English, there's so many opportunities out there, you guys. Please do not limit yourself and say that there's poor people can't leave the United States, or that you don't have enough money to leave the United States. Like, do not limit yourself, do not say those things, do not believe those things. Believe that whatever you put your mind to, you can do.
And I'm moving myself to Southeast Asia to enjoy my life right now, to not wait on a promise of retirement when I turn middle-aged 60s, so that my back can be out, then I can try and enjoy a little excitement in my life. Fuck all that. I'm gonna enjoy my life currently right now, because I understand life is not promised tomorrow. So why wait for a retirement that's not even gonna be valuable by the time I turn 65? I have been to Thailand. I've seen the lifestyle that I deserve. I breathed freedom for a whole month. In that whole entire month, I only spent $1,800. After that month, I came back home and spent $2,000 just for rent. Not including my whole life, not including food, not including gas, bills. I'm talking just rent. America is the biggest scam and corporation I've ever been a part of. And after 33 years of putting in my work, I'm putting in that retirement slip, man.
$5, but what's worth more?
You'd be surprised because this actually worth less than $4.
But how far does your money actually go here?
In Da Nang, a 20-minute Grab ride, which is basically an Uber, only costs this much. And that's basically like a ride for your whole day.
And $5 in America might get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks, or in some states, a gallon of milk. This is 500,000 dong.
That's a lot of dong.
This is about $20 USD, and how far does this go?
In Da Nang, you can get a 4-star hotel room or a nice meal for 2.
In America, $20, it'll get you like a haircut. Okay, and finally, 1 million dong. We're millionaires here for about $40 USD. What can you get for $1 million dong?
Here in Vietnam, this can get you a Michelin star meal for 2.
Michelin star? People go their whole lives without eating a Michelin star.
Well, it's actually the cheapest in the whole world. Or you can get a luxury hotel with breakfast included and rooftop pool.
That's so sad because in America, remember that first bit, an Uber ride across town. That's $40. That's $1 million dong, a 20-minute Uber ride.
I have this video I made and I get so much hate on it still about me leaving the States and saying that I'm happy to be leaving this shit show. But honestly, I'm going to give you the 3 reasons that I hear constantly from recent expats about this mass exodus and why it's highly educated people that are leaving the States. Number 1, cost of living. Believe it or not, you can get a higher quality of life abroad than you can in the States. And it's not until you actually leave the US and you go somewhere else and you realize how expensive and inflated everything is there and what your dollar can get in a different economy. Okay, so number 2, safety. If you are a parent and you're raising children in the States, you definitely go to sleep at night and you're worrying about guns. And if you're not, you're only doing that because nobody wants to think about it. And me personally, I don't want to homeschool. I respect anyone who does. It is a full-on thing, but that's just not my life. So safety for our children, safety for our lives, that peace of mind. And number 3, work-life balance. Now, here's the big thing. If you are a middle class and you're making a middle class salary in the US, you likely cannot pay to get help. Maybe once a month you have a housekeeper come. I personally have a housekeeper who comes once a week. 6 months ago, I had a housekeeper who came 2 days a week. And when my children were little, I had help full time. And this is not unusual. This is super normal when you live in another country. I live in Thailand, and that is just the reality of living abroad. And a lot of people want that because they want the additional help. So they have more free time, more time with their family. That is the reality, and why I know a lot of people who are choosing to pursue moving abroad right now and who are leaving the States. So it's not because we hate it. Quite the opposite. We just want a better life.